What up, y'all? Welcome to the Gobi Games podcast. I'm your host, Gobi, and what am I doing up this early? Well, I couldn't sleep, so I thought I'd do some reading, and hell, why not? I throw up a podcast as well. So last week, or earlier this week, sorry, I talked about CD Projekt Red source code being stolen by hackers in a ransomware attack. There's been some developments. Apparently, they tried to have an auction for it. The starting bid was reportedly $1 million with a $500,000 bidding increment, and a $7 million buy it now price. A couple of different cyber intelligence firms confirmed the authenticity of the auction. However, there has been an update. They don't think anybody bought it. While the auction was originally intended to run for 48 hours, by Thursday morning, both firms were reporting that it had been closed successfully. An offer was received outside the form that satisfied us. At least one analyst sees reason to doubt the seller's report, as a separate buyer swooping in from the outside of the action. Basically, they're saying this isn't likely. They posted another one here, but it's political, so I'm not even going to go into it. But basically, this has happened before, where they said that the bidding was closed early and successful, and more than likely there was just no sellers or nobody showed up to buy it. I don't, like I said earlier this week, I didn't think this was going to affect gamers at all. Clearly, this has kind of been non-issue. They are kind of giving CDPR props, I guess you could say, because they got out in front of this right away. I'm not saying they look great for it, alright? I'm just saying these firms have said, hey, they did the right thing by coming out, being open and honest about it, and they really backed these guys into a corner. Great for them. Glad something seems to be going their way, because that's about it. Cyberpunk is still a buggy mess. Hopefully soon, though, we'll get some patches to fix that shit. Now, my boss's son is looking to build a gaming PC, and I know there's a couple other people out there too that have been bumming around the Discord and other places looking and asking about building PCs, and I pretty much have the same advice to all of them. This is not a great time to build a gaming PC. Now, don't get it twisted that I don't want these people gaming on PC, because I do. I love bringing people to PC gaming, and I really hope all these people do in fact build a gaming PC. However, right now isn't the time, because there is such a supply shortage of GPUs that it has made their prices go insane. I mean, I bought a 5700 XT. I want to say I bought it last April or something. Basically, I bought it a year ago. I found one for $390. Picked it up. That same graphics card going today is like $700 to $800. It's just crazy. Now, there is some hope on the horizon, and Team Green has kind of stepped up, and they are, well, on February 25th, which is just a couple weeks away, Nvidia is launching the RTX 3060 graphics card, and it's supposedly MSRP'd at $329 US. This is great. It's gonna feature 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, which is solid. Obviously, it's gonna have all the RTX 3000 series features and whatnot. I think Nvidia is finally stepping up their their low end cards. Now I get it. I'm an AMD guy, so I'm a little bit harsh on these guys. But all right, I own a laptop with a 1650. I know there's a couple of GS members that I play with that run 1060 cards, and some of the games like Div 2 and stuff like that, it has not been playing well with them. Now, granted, will the 3060 see these same problems? I don't know. It does have twice the memory of the 1060, so hopefully that and the 3060 improvements or the 3000 series improvements will help. I do think we need more cards in this range to help get people into PC. I think the high end range is we got that locked down, boys. Like, all right, come on, boys and girls, let's get some good mid range cards and some decent low end cards so we can get more and more people in here and stuff like that. And it keeps the cost of upgrading down too. I mean, a 2070 will easily push 2K monitors at 60 to 120 frames per second on most games. I mean, if my PC wasn't bottlenecked by my ancient CPU, my 5700 would push probably the max on my screen. But it's just, again, I know my CPU is my bottleneck, and I've been waiting and waiting. And there is more good news from Team Green. Apparently, they're going to bring back old RTX 2060s and the GTX 1050 Ti GPUs to deal with this global chip supply shortage. Props to you guys, alright? I'm openly now admitted, I'm Team Red. I am AMD guy. However, this is great news. Like, I don't care, whatever. I highly recommend Nvidia products to a lot of different people when I build PCs for them and whatnot. I just prefer AMD for my personal preference. I never push my personal preference on anybody when I build PCs. If you're going for more budget-focused PCs, obviously I'm going to push more AMD stuff in there because lower price and price per power, AMD seems to win there. I'm not knocking Intel, and I'm not knocking Nvidia. Intel makes some great CPUs. I'll be interested to see when their GPU finally comes out to see where it lands. Maybe it's some good middle ground. I don't think having another player in the GPU bracket is going to hurt anybody, and it's definitely going to help us as consumers for bringing prices down, which I'm all for. Definitely all for that. But that's kind of my hardware section. This next game, I don't play it. Borderlands 3 Director Cut is coming out in March. I've heard good things about the game, heard bad things about the game. I know people love their Borderlands. I did play Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2. I didn't really like the art style too much. This one does seem to be a little, better in far as the graphics look. It's still got the same art style though, so it's part of the reason why I haven't bought it yet. But it's going to add a new raid boss and some murder mysteries. So looks like you guys are going to get some more DLC for the base game of Borderlands 3, and I believe that all comes with the Director's Cut, which will launch on March 18th as part of the Season Pass 2. If you like Borderlands, this is great for you guys. I mean, I don't know how much content, because obviously it's early, but you can also buy the Season Pass 2. It's available on Steam for $30 US, or I believe that's 25 British pounds. Might be euros. I don't know their symbols all that well. I'll work on that. I really will. But the reason I even bring up Borderlands is this next article kind of made me chuckle. Obviously, Borderlands is pretty famous for their claptrap robots, right? I mean, who doesn't love to hate claptrap I mean, he's fun and annoying, and a third of the way through the game, you just want to put a bullet in his brain just because he talks so damn much. But other than talking too much, he's a pretty neat character. But apparently, there's going to be a Borderlands movie. Hey, that's great. And they got Jack Black to play Claptrap. I agree with the article. I think this is a perfect fit for Claptrap. I might even, this is turning out to be a interesting movie. It's gonna star Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart, and Kate Blanchett, and the movie will be directed by Eli Roth. He actually directed The House with a Clock in Its Walls. If you haven't seen that movie and you got kids, check it out. It's a little bit weird. It's got Jack Black in it, but it was a pretty good movie. I did enjoy it. But yeah, it'd definitely be fun to see. I mean, I think Kevin Hart and Jack Black, that could be interesting. It'll be interesting to see Kevin Hart's. I'm guessing he's going to be portraying Rowan in the movie. So we'll see how he does with that. Could be funny, interesting. I typically like Kevin Hart in action roles. He does pretty good. He brings just enough funny. But, he also can do that semi-serious, but he doesn't ever take movies seriously. And I like that about him. I really do. It's definitely a bright side. Couple other things that are about to wrap up, obviously, is the Steam Lunar Chinese New Year's sale. It's going on now. It's got some okay sales. I'll talk about a couple of games later on that are on sale during the Lunar New Year's sale. But yeah, that's wrapping up. God, I think I want to say February 15th, which is just a couple of days away. Don't got much time to get in and grab those games. And of course, Steam's having a sale, so Epic has got to have a sale too. Except for they called theirs the Spring Showcase and Sale Event. I didn't really check out the Spring Showcase. Not really my type of thing. I did scroll through the thing. They have some decent deals. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is 50% off. Squadrons is 40% off. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is 20% off. And Cyberpunk is 10% off. Alright, I will tell you guys a little trick, though. I know there's a lot of hate for Epic, but if you buy an Ubisoft title off of the Epic Game Store, not only do you usually get the same sale price as you do on Uplay, but a lot of the times they have these extra discounts, like you can get a $10 coupon or whatever off your next purchase or whatever. So when you buy the game and then you take that extra $10 off, it's obviously $10 cheaper. But then you link your Epic Game Store account with your Uplay account, and then you just install the game on Uplay, and you never have to touch the Epic Games launcher again, other than to use it as a storefront for Ubisoft. Now, there is a game coming out. It was relatively new. Rage 2, I want to say released last year. It might have been the year before by now. 2020 was just kind of a blurry mess. But that is going to be free starting this coming Thursday for a week. I'm definitely going to be picking that up. As I played the first one, I really enjoyed it, but I'm not going to lie, I didn't enjoy it enough to buy the second one. I figured I'd get it when it went on cheap sale, and nothing is cheaper than free. Now, I keep saying that, I'm sorry guys. earlier this week, I was talking about how Epic Games is going to get even more exclusives in the next 2 years. And one of those coming on March 30th is Kingdom Hearts. This is one of those games I've always kind of watched, but never owned a console that they're released on. It it looks like a fun and interesting mashup, and I don't know. I might end up picking this up just to play with the kids. I'm not really sure, but I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on Kingdom Hearts. Like, I know there's some dedicated diehard fans out there. Um, I have just not ever played it, um, but it does look semi-interesting. I guess I'll wait and see how it comes out and see where it goes from there. I mean, it's one of those things. Now, when I first joined Gunslinger Gaming, which is my gaming clan, I joined them way back in, I think it was 2013. One of the games that I played was Rust. Right when this game came out, I think it actually came out in like 2014 or something like that. I bought it in early access, played it with a couple of GS members. Huge shout out to Sarge. I haven't seen you in forever, man, but if you listen to this, I hope you're all doing well. I hope your family's good, and yeah, keep it up, man. And of course, my boy So Sick. He was obviously the clan or the server admin at the time. Good times with him, and so we played this way back in early access, and then it got bad. All right, it was basically kill on sight, and it was just toxic and bad in so many different ways. And now it's starting to become popular again all these years later, thanks to a bunch of Twitch personalities. And that's cool. I love it when games make a comeback. That's pretty awesome. And they just set like 2 back-to-back records for player counts, and yeah, it was crazy. I'm proud of these guys for keeping with it. So the company that made Rust is obviously Face Punch. They also made another small known game. None of y'all probably heard of it. It's called Gary's Mod. It's again been around for a while and kind of the same thing. But the reason I bring it up is I did install Rust and decided to run it again and play. It has improved a lot. Now, I can't testify to how toxic official servers are, as I never played on them. But as far as like game mechanics and graphics and all that stuff, it has greatly improved. The base building is still, it could be better, but it's a ton better than it was in early access, and it's actually, once you get used to it and you get it down, it's not so bad. But again, there's that initial like learning curve that is kind of a little bit wonky. But other than that, it's pretty good. Again, it is on sale on Steam at the current moment for the Steam Lunar Sale. Now, obviously, I'm a huge zombie guy, and I'm going to talk about some zombie games because why not? Obviously, one of my favorite hidden gem games is on the Epic Game Store. Not Daisy, sorry. Oh my god. We'll talk about that one later. World War Z. Was not a huge fan of the movie. I watched it. It was just kind of meh, whatever. It was a decent action movie. But then I played the game, and they made the game like a third-person version of Left 4 Dead 2. And, I mean, there's obviously some differences. And it's set in the world of the movie, which is cool and awesome. But the gameplay I really enjoyed. It's a lot of fun to just kind of like sit there and bum out in and just kind of kill zombies and short missions based like Left 4 Dead. Um, Another one that this I don't know if I'd call it a hidden gem. All right, but if you're a fan of zombie games, all right, there's a game called Contagion on Steam. It's currently $5, which isn't that bad. It ends obviously on the 15th. It's single player. It has online PvP. It has split screen PvP. It has online co-op. It has split screen co-op, and it has full controller support. Now, I did do some research on this because I was like, oh, sweet, a zombie game with split screen on PC? Yes, please. Now, in 2020, they did update the game and they moved the split screen from the PC UI to the console UI. In order to use the console UI, you have to enter a command into the startup parameters to get it basically into controller mode. Um, which, whatever. It is what it is. Sometimes you gotta do things like that. Uh, the next game on the list, I don't know if I'd really call it a zombie game. It does have some kind of zombies in it. It is definitely more of like a DayZ type game, like a horror survival game. It's called Deadside. It just came out not too long ago. I think it's still in early access. Yes, it's still in early access. It's currently 25% off. It's $15. Okay, so there are no private servers. The only way to have a server for this game is to rent it on Gportal, which whatever. Their last patch, 0.1.11, added official PvE servers and some other cool stuff. I've played this game with Nighthawk. It's not bad. It was a little bit wonky when we played it, as we played it pretty early on in early access. It's going to remind you a lot of obviously games like DayZ. I mean, it's a lot like DayZ, but it's not DayZ. And then obviously, yes, the one DayZ. This is a game that I have a very much love-hate relationship with. I really wanted to love the standalone when it was released, because I was a huge fan of not only the developers, but actually played the DayZ mod on Arma 2 quite a bit. For those of you who don't know me, I play a lot of Arma 2 back in the day and Arma 3. A lot of Arma 3. I played Arma 3 Epoch. So when DayZ Standalone came out, obviously I jumped on it and I bought it way back when I think it was like $19 or something in early access, and it was trash. Right? Anybody can tell you differently. I don't care. This is my personal opinion. The game was just straight trash. The mod was better in every single way and shape and form at that time. That was years ago. Alright? So it finally came out of early access in 2018. It got workshop and mod support. The game's quite a bit better now. It's got very positive recent reviews. And it is on sale for $26. The Lenovia edition is $35, or if you own DayZ, you can buy the map for $12. I'm not gonna recommend that. There are so many free maps that you can play with this game that there's no need to pay the $10 for their map. At least not at this point. Now, where am I going with this? DayZ could be a lot of fun, and it has gotten a lot better. I actually enjoyed running around in it the other day. I didn't see too many players on the server I was on, but that's okay with me because I was going for more of a PvE experience and just kind of trying to kill Zeds and you know do the figure out the new mechanics and stuff like that and see how they had changed the game and stuff. I wasn't actually sitting down and like playing hardcore DayZ because that just can get nerve wracking. I will give them credit though; they do have some pretty interesting encounters when you run into other players. It's not always kill on sight. They've definitely added some interesting ways to kill players. You can apparently chop bodies up into pieces now to make sure that the player you knocked out is actually dead or not. I will tell you though right now that all the signs are in Russian, so if you can read Russian, great. Otherwise, you're going to need to use some tools on the internet to figure out where everything is. And again, it's like any other game. Once you get map knowledge, you kind of understand where you need to go and where everything is. But getting that map knowledge can be a little bit difficult. They did seem to reduce the amount of damage that zombies do, so it makes fighting them a little bit easier. I mean, they're still deadly, don't get me wrong, but it's not as bad as it was. Like, they would clip through a wall and hit you one time and you would be like dead and dying in a puddle of your own piss. But yeah, I'm glad they kind of turned it around. I still don't know if I'll spend a whole lot of time in there, but it's definitely one of those games that I love to go back and check out every once in a while. Yeah, so I hope you guys all have had a good week and everything, and I'm going to try and put out at least a couple of podcasts a week. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully I'll get some people back in here. They've been kind of slackers, doing their own thing, real life stuff. I get it. But yeah, hopefully we'll have some of the old guys and gals back in here soon. Alright, until next time, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.